All right, this is the unboxing of Conrtist, Entrapment. I thought it was Conrtist, but it's Conrtist. And they pronounce their name many times on the album.
Conrtist coming for you, buckle up and go pick up the news.
This is an interesting album in that, like, I bet you when they made this, they thought they had a hit record. Because notice, it says book 1. I think they thought they were going to be around for a while. And I'm covering this one because it's a rarity. You know, not too many people are even aware that this exists, but take a look. Layzie presents Conrtist Entrapment Book 1. And it has 14 tracks. And guess who's on this? Take a look. Only the Strong, featuring Layzie, Thug Queen, and Thin C.
Only the strong survive. Only the strong survive.
Yeah, who wanna ride when it's time to die? Only the strong survive. I'm from the city where them thugs gon' ride. Bitch niggas get they eyes swole. Half the community in jail, house arrest or parole. Currency chaser, hustlers, no trespassing on the block, knuckle up. Guts get spilled on the regular. I was born ready for warfare. Survival of the fittest until I'm one with the air, yeah.
But not only that, you have Rock the Body featuring Layzie.
You better go check my manuscript. Killer for religion, killing my nigga, just kick it and belt through the land with my click shit. You know the reason, nigga, we call this hustle season. And niggas just wanna shut me down. Now who in the fuck you think you fucking with? My niggas be on some other shit. Coming at the niggas that way, talk about the most of millennium other shit, yeah. You goddamn right, Stu, might as well pop my collar. Nigga, you know we gon' get these dollars, making bitches wanna holler. Who the fuck you think you playing with? Why you think you fucking with me? Nigga, you want me, nigga, come get me, bucking his knee until it's empty, lock and loaded, cock it exploded. I done said it again. Any of you rappers think you can fuck with me, I'll leave you dead in your bins, friends. A nigga foe, let me know, let me know. Wanna step up in the cypher, nigga, I'ma treat you like a hoe. Gotta go, nigga, it's all about perfect planning. Give me your soldiers with a demand, and I'll be that last one nigga standing up.
Who rocks the body on? We gets it off the wall. Real hustlers always ball until the day we fall. You come up short on Skrilla and meet your caterpillar. It's constant bones, nigga, so how the fuck you figure?
And it doesn't say that this is a Mo Thug album. It's by SoundLab Records. None of the executive producers or produced by, I don't recognize the names. But let's take a look at what we have inside. This is kind of a hard to find CD as well. It's not completely rare. I've seen that there's 2 copies for sale on eBay right now. That's where I bought it as well. And I guess it looks like they went all out. I mean, I think if you hear this album, you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, I think they really thought they were onto something. I'm not saying this album is the bomb, but it's not bad, and it's well produced. So it's a real disc. They have their own like Conrtist logo and branding. They got even upcoming releases. Mo Thugs for the Movement in stores June 10th, 2003. Conrtist Family coming soon. Conrtist Book 2 coming soon. None of that happened. At least I don't think. Well, the Mo Thugs 4 happened, but I don't know how far Conrtist went. But they have, you know, a little pro photograph there. I think the girl is the best in the group. And there they are there. Primarily the subject matter of this album is like credit card schemes, and I guess a better way to put it is white collar crime. And basically con artist schemes, essentially. So it's thematic. It's got a concept to it. This old GeoCities site is where I originally discovered Conrtist. I think I was researching Mo Thugs or something, and I found this particular website. Let me read it to you, because I'm sure you're wondering who the heck they are, just like I am. Layzie presents Conrtist Entrapment Book 1, released May 13, 2003 under SoundLab Records. Conrtist, a trio of rappers that originate from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Junebug, T.Y., and Chameleon, come as possibly one of the strongest Mo Thug affiliated groups to date, having an album release before the Mo Thugs 4 release. Their opening debut party in South Beach, Minneapolis was only 2 days after their release. Junebug and T.Y. are brothers, and Celestine their mother. Conrtist.com, slrmusic.com. The insert is a fold-out with several pictures of the Conrtist group and production information, as well as extensive thank yous. Inside the insert is an ad for Mo Thugs Family, The Movement, and upcoming albums from the Conrtist family and Conrtist Book 2. I don't think this is the first time I've used Hazybone's website on this channel. Imagine all that work Hazybone put in 2003, thinking that no one would care, only to find decades later, Beyond the Harmony would come about and utilize and source his material. Thank you, Hazy Bone, for leaving the artifacts for the people in the future. Oh, but wait, there's more trivia tidbits. Before the album release, there was a 4-track promo for Conrtist, including the tracks Con Man, Off the Wall, Clubbin' Tonight, and Peace Treaty, which was later renamed Original Players. Now that must be a real collector's item. That promo, the Conrtist promo. The Conrtist roster includes Junebug the Consmith, G.L. Moy Jr., T.Y. the Confather, T.L. Moy, who are brothers, and their female counterpart, Comillion A. Tedesse. And you got all these liner notes here. I'll spare you guys reading the whole thing, but what I found is, listening to this album, it seemed like everybody knew each other really well. And not only are the artists, the rappers, brothers, but the musicians seem to also be family members. So you'll notice on Clubbin' Tonight, they got their mom, Celestine, doing some vocals on it, but lead guitar by Melina Moy. All their last names are Moy. Their production company is called Moy Brothers. Also on Original Players featuring Science, it says additional vocals by Melissa June Fisher. I'm assuming she has some connection to Junebug. But even better, you got bass guitar by George Dr. Funk Moya Sr. I don't know if that's the Pops, but we got the whole family on this album. And I point that out because it's a happy, feel-good album, and everybody seems to really connect and mesh together. The music's there. The feel, the vibe is there. And there was a certain swag and confidence to the album that I thought they all must really know each other well and love each other and support each other with positive reinforcement. Instead of it being like a hip-hop rap feel, it was more of a musician feel. They weren't looking for validation. They had their own fun. Even if nobody else was feeling their vibe, their family and friends enjoy their vibe. I don't know if this one has any clues, but it says Thin C appears courtesy of Make It Hot Entertainment. Layzie Bone and Thug Queen appear courtesy of Mo Thug Records. And on the 2 Layzie Bone tracks that he's on, it says published by Layzie Bone Music ASCAP, and then Layzie Bone of Bone Thugs and Harmony appears courtesy of Mo Thugs Records. And apparently Mom has a record deal with Burning Bush Music. Notice it says Celestine appears courtesy of Burning Bush Music. And there's a couple other guitar entries for Pops. We'll take a look at these special things just to see if anything stands out. And these special things give a glimpse inside of the group with all of my theories. I'm reading this for the first time now, and you'll see exactly what I mean. All right, these are Junebug's thank yous. So I want to thank my mother, Celestine, who taught me music, and also my father, George Dr. Funk Moy Sr., also T.Y., Comillion, Science, and Lil One, my sister, Melina Moy, my brother, Eddie Torres, I didn't forget you. So Dr. Funk is indeed Pops, and Melina Moy, who was on one of the other tracks, I think with bass. So this is a real music family with a mother that has a record deal with another label. Okay, we got a DJ Dre Ghost shout out. And then he also says, hey, anybody I forgot, send me a barcode of this CD and I'll do my best to catch you on the other CDs. Thank you, Junebug, the Consmith, Conrtist, Moy Brothers Productions. So that's his. All right, now Comillion, that's the female artist in the group. And her thing just validates everything I thought about hearing the album. Much praise to God on there. And then family. Mom, stepfather, grandmother, and then even for her bandmates. She says, T.Y., thank you for believing in me and for your shoulders when I need it. Mine will always be here for you. With your wisdom, there's nothing that can stop you from being on top of the world. So there's some positive reinforcement. Do the damn thing, homie. Love you. Junebug, you are truly a gifted person. Thank you for sharing that with me. Caution, you still can't beat me up. Layzie, thank you for believing. And then at the end, we have, thank you, Felicia. Let's make it happen, girl. T.Y.'s thank you. First, I'd like to thank God. Without him, nothing possible. My son, Caution, you're my strength in this world. Daddy loves you. My mom for giving me the drive and ambition and always being there for me when I need you most. And my dad for adding the extra funk and the make moves mentality. Comillion, thanks for holding me down and supporting me when I needed you most. You know how we do, baby girl. You set him up, I knock him down. The real Bonnie and Clyde. So his dad gave him the make moves mentality. And Comillion sounds like that's his business partner. I guess she draws in the clients and then he pulls the close. I guess she's the cold caller and he's the closer. That's what I would assume, especially from the content of the album. My brother Junebug, the real genius behind the music. I'd be lost without you for real. My sister Melina Moy for all the supportive direction. This is it, sis. All right, we'll skip ahead. Layzie Bone, where would the game be without you? You the realist. Thanks for believing in us. Whatever it is, we rolling with the whole Bone Thugs, Mo Thugs, EMTs, Ken and Scant. It's about time to hit the border. Thug Queen, Conrtist family, George Dr. Funk Moy, Devo, Celestine, thanks for everything. Skipping down, we see another shout out to DJ Draghost. It's going down. Thin C, keep making it hot. And then he signs it off. One Love, TY, Conrtist, a.k.a. the Confather. Moya Brothers Productions. Executive produced by GL Moy Jr., TL Moy, A. Tedesse, produced by Moy Brothers Productions. So they kept everything in-house. They did everything themselves. All songs mastered by Joe Jazzy Johnson at Angel Beach Studio, Minnesota. So they kept it in the state. All songs except Con Man mixed by Joe Jazzy Johnson at Angel Beach Studio, Minnesota, assisted by Conrtist. So they have their double panel inner fold out centerfold, the back picture, the front picture, the under the tray with the branding logo, and then I mean the back leaves a little bit to be desired, but overall pretty solid artwork. Now, as far as the music on the album goes, I'm going to just briefly explain to you how to go through this. First thing I noticed was most of it is like West Coast kind of beats or even Ohio kind of beats, but for the most part they're all bright and happy. There's no real gloomy kind of beats, and there's really no gloomy subject matter. There's really no poor me subject matter. It's all triumphant. So as far as the tracks go, the first track is like an intro, and it's just this real cool instrumental that has the funky flute.
Conrtist family.
Good evening, this is Samantha Gibson, recording from Channel 9. Topic Conrtist trial has been considered. The judge has ruled through one.
There's no rhymes on it, but it's like a real cool mood setting, chilling, cool West Coast kind of sound and intro. Second track is Extra Extra.
Conrtist coming for you, buckle up and go pick up the news. We be the ones on the front, guaranteed it ain't no front. Yeah, we taking over your city. We be Conrtist family.
And the female artist comes out with like a staggered beat flow. The chorus is a little cheesy, but it's their coming out song, and like all the rhymers, they're just kind of flexing their skills on it. It's extra, extra, read all about it, that kind of thing.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
We got what you want, now shine it.
We be Conrtist.
Money is coming your way, gotta get paid every day, believe it or not. Come on.
We are Conrtist.
Conrtist said an appreciation of tabloids and try to destroy the cons, name no card a decoy.
So then you got number 3, Nobody. The lyrics to the song are really bad, but it sounded like they were having a lot of fun. And this is where the credit card fraud subject matter begins. And on this track, the guys actually outshine the female rapper on it. Whereas for the most of the album, I'm like, yeah, man, the female stands out. But the guys lay it down on this one. I feel like this is like one of their stronger tracks.
My family that will follow for money, that be our model, paper chases in the ball.
They say these cons ain't shit. My kids shouldn't be listening and learning how to lick stuff like credit card fraud and embezzlement and shit like this counterfeit cash. Plus, watch clean fast equals the feds off my ass.
And what's also funny about this album is the way the music sounds to it. It sounds like this instrumental for this track was made by somebody who's not a rap fan as their first genre of music that they like. And I know this because I've worked with guys that, you know, most musicians in like the 90s, most people that knew how to record weren't into rap. They were into anything but rap. And those are the people that would be able to engineer and produce your album. And this song sounds like one of those songs that weren't made by like Scott Storch and Timberland and Beats by the Pound and Academics and DJ Premier and all these people that had crafted unique sounds of DJ Muggs, like all that hadn't really been fully solidified and established in 2003. It was there. Like everybody knew Dr. Dre was like the best producer, but there wasn't enough training. You know, most people that spent their life learning music, they weren't learning hip hop. Like to them, a hip hop beat is the New Jack Swing, stuff you'd hear like on a Belle Biv DeVoe or a Janet Jackson album. To the point where even DJ Unique, 2 of his most famous beats came from video games, Eternal Legends. He's using Genesis video games to make beats. That's That's where the knowledge base wasn't there yet. Hip hop was still kind of new, even though by 03 it kind of had its run by that point. So I just want to establish that a lot of these beats aren't your traditional hip hop beats. It sounds like musicians making beats. There's a lot of bass guitars and other stuff.
The house always wins when it's ran by the constant Jumbo Conrtist.
Can't nobody do it like Conrtist. You can try, but you can't. All up in your body like what? And now we're taking over like what? Like that.
So track 4 is Rock Your Body. This features Layzie Bone. And it's a Layzie Bone verse that's kind of like one of those look at the with the wind blew in type verses. The chorus is real Mo Thug sounding.
Who rocks the body, y'all? We gets it off the wall. Real hustlers always ball until the day we fall. You come up short on Skrilla and meet your caterpillar. It's constant bones, nigga. So how the fuck you figure? This shit don't stop. It's hustle like you carry on. Even after that it gone. And now this family involved.
We about to creep up on the come up. Y'all motherfuckers about to done it now. Fist up, get up, stand up. Revolution is in order now. Get ready for the takeover. Time thugs taking over your block. Popping these hits, but it just won't stop. Hitting the jets like a 12 get shot. Blast off in your ass. Feel the force, ill burning ass dash. For the cash real fast, then take out the bad trash. No way, no evidence, no trace. No how, no way. You can blame or point the finger at me. Cause the key is in the conspiracy. Thugged out with Hennessy. Piss on my enemies. Conrtist, Layzie Bone, my niggas. Y'all ain't feeling me. These niggas can see us, the bitches they need us. They need the blow, they hit my penis. Hit the top, here I come, don't stop. Drop, come on the floor.
I think they thought you were not your average everyday motherfuckers was. So we the cons, niggas on the run. Nigga dish the car, nigga toss the gun. And burn the face cause they fake. And wash the funds with no trace. We back in the seat, you can't compete. Just be prepared with no retreat.
Even the instrumental's a little bit Mo Thug sounding. The first guy distantly, loosely reminds me of Tombstone. I'm not saying he sounds anything like Tombstone, but there's like a tinge that reminds you of Tombstone. The beat even sounds like, when I said Mo Thugs, I meant to say a Graveyard Shift beat. It's not dark like Graveyard. Imagine if Graveyard Shift had happy beats.
Place your boots, take the loop and bail. Oh hell, the feds is on my trail. You know nigga gon' be bugging back, so we grab the gas and we mash it. Making each move on first reaction. Quick left and we toss the leg. Chameleon took a right and we shook the bed.
Motherfucker, just follow me a little closer now. Chameleon, go show you I put it down. We done shook the town. I'ma stand my ground. Any fans on the trail, I'ma lay 'em down. Just swerving and ducking, fuck it. I'm mashing and bucking. Back on you bastards. I told you disasters happen. I'll show you.
Headed for destruction, corruption, we function, caution, cause Glockin', we stockin' C4, knocking at your front door.
Protect your life and keep tossing, taking me hostage, no option. My family moan for the locks, ain't coming out banking to set it off, motherfucker.
Who rocks the body, y'all?
It would be this kind of a song, and it's got great bass guitar on it. Track 5 is called Clubbin' Tonight, and this is the track that tipped me off that this must be a family affair, because Mama doing the chorus, I mean, she's going all out on it, and
Celestine, you with me? Yeah. Come on. Yeah. I'ma go clubbing tonight. I'ma go clubbing tonight. Get crunk and dance all night. Do you wanna kick it tonight? We in the club, fuck the Conrtist, baby. Grab a cup and don't stop and get drunk. I'ma go clubbing tonight. I'ma go clubbing tonight. Get crunk and dance all night. Do you wanna kick it tonight? We in the club, fuck the Conrtist, baby. Grab a cup and don't stop and get drunk.
bro, hearing Mama say "get crunk, is oh man, dude, it's almost worth getting the album just to hear that. I don't think this thing gets through if it's not All in the Family, because this thing is it's so funny to me that it's like novelty. Like, I enjoy it. I think other people either cringe or think it's like, what the heck is going on here? But to me, this is it's amusing. Track 6, Combe Perignon, featuring Lil One.
We're drinking a berry on to dawn, the party carries on, so put your hands up high and bucket fists like this. So put your hands up high, reach up and touch the sky, that way from side to side. We keep the party live, we came to party, so get it crunk. You started static, hope you got your gun. You wanna smoke something, wait, your turn. The roof's on fire, y'all, let it burn. To the party, body passing up on the Bacardi. Hardly focused, cause the berry on the hand. You carry on my wet dream, well, everything ain't what it seems. Ain't no static on the scene, life is somewhat like a dream. We came here to kick it and it's ridiculous how we run this shit. My niggas is drinking for niggas is smoking, going and blaze this shit. We in the club, Conrtist out of control by fathers. We make it authority shit. We turn it a club to freak Nick.
it's basically a party song. It's chilling. Like, it's one of those songs that they probably thought it was going to be a bigger deal than it was. So I'm sure that they were proud of it, but it's just, you know, another party hip hop song, party rap song.
Come on, we got it jumping and you know we got it pumping and you constantly stopping to the beat, your head is bobbing and the heat, I know you feeling, so let it go and let your body submit to whatever it wants to know.
Now, track 7. I think track 7 is the best track on the album.
Stand tall, shake something, dysfunction, bounce something, make a nigga want something.
Let's get this party started, ladies and gentlemen, think about it, the night is yours, the club is bumping and the doors are closed. Niggas fussy and we saucy, ain't nothing no one can say that can make us think otherwise, cause we know we the shit for the day. Do what you gotta do to do what you wanna do, baby boo, man, come and diamond dozen, so don't worry about who gets who. Shine in the dark like the moon, otherwise you can be shining in the light and high noon. Now I'll tell you that makes the chicken heads furious. Build the animosity and use it to your benefit. So you can use the energy to make yourself limitless. Don't let it consume you cause it'll just be endless. So let's be living, living, huh? So grab your nigga, get the rope and let's go dipping, huh? Get your suit, tie it at, let's go ripping, huh? Spend cash like it has never been, mama.
All my niggas, get off the wall. If y'all ballin', let's stand tall.
Smoke something, that's right, drink something.
I'm buzzing, now I want something.
It's a dope beat. It's like a dance joint. It's fire. The girl brings the heat. Even the guys bring the heat. I would bet that when they made the album, this would have been their first single. Like, they probably thought this was the joint right here. Off the wall, hands down, in my opinion, best track on the album.
So this here party, better recognize we the Conrtist family until the day that we die. So racketeering and looking everything from paper to pictures, just stacking chips and flipping it. Now run it back and double it. I don't see what's the trouble, just get your ass on our level. We got the pop for you haters, we got the shit for your shovel.
Track 8, Original Players. This song wanted to be a G-Funk classic, but it didn't use a G-Funk beat.
To all of my players in the back, holding gas caps, get your hands away from your straps. Ain't nobody here on that. You're on neutral ground when it gets high. So put your hands up in the air and represent your side. Grab a bottle of Cristal to this and get the blue green. Money ain't a thing. Gonna put the 9 to 5 up on the shelf, cause tonight you with your homies, just enjoy yourself.
It's got more of, like, I guess, soul, funk, jazz. The girl rapper is funny too. Like, the girl rapper, she shows off her, like, bilingual skills. I don't know if I think she said she was Ethiopian on one of the songs.
I can speak and see you tweak. Say which one you take your pick. I can say it in native tongue and keep you wondering how long. Until then, grab a glass of sonas. You can chill in the steam or saunas. The world is yours. What you need, anything you want is on.
So she speaks in some other language. I can't figure out what it is. The guy does like a Crazy Bone kind of chorus, but it's way out of key. The bass guitar player, he gets his chance to show off his skills on this one.
But we have to go. There's one thing that you should know. That the C to the O to the N to the I to the T to the I to the S to the T. Won't make up on your city. No pills and no cures needed. Just let this soul ride and spread it worldwide.
That's right. What? Who? Yeah. Come on. Yeah.
And there's even an electric guitar solo at the end. It was their dad on the bass and their sister doing that lead guitar solo. That was smoking. Yeah, man, this is where I really started to realize that something else was going on here. This was a jam out. When you get two solos, you got a bass and a lead guitar solo. That doesn't just happen. So this was cool that they were jamming out, getting down, and it's a family affair, man. It was real chilling. All right, so now this is the one you've all been waiting for. Only the Strong Survive.
It take a real type of nigga to really survive in the game. A lot of these busters out here faking just be jiving the game. But if they faking, man, just do it. Gon' surprise them with things. Let them hang, make it bang. Nigga, no pain, no gain. I'm that nigga that made that money. No, that money ain't make me nigga. I'm a go-getter for most griller, a gorilla for show killer. Whole niggas get no love. Live and breathe this whole thug. No scrub, this my bud. You get snuffed, so quick just murder us. How many of you niggas is ready to die? We serving ya. You wanna come test? We'll give it a try. I'm praying the Lord Almighty, please just keep me alive. That's on the love, this little late. Only the strong survive.
Layzie Bone, Thug Queen. The chorus sounds like it's existed forever. Like when you hear "Only the strong survive."
Stand your ground, can't no one stop you now. Gotta keep moving on, knowing it's going down. Gotta keep standing strong, only the strong belong. Gotta keep holding on, just keep your head up high.
Only the strong survive. Only the strong survive. Only the strong. Only the strong survive. Only the strong survive. Only the strong survive. Only the strong survive. Only the strong survive.
It sounds legendary. Not really legendary, but it sounds like a song that's been there forever that you heard. All the ad-libs were recorded really well. You know, Thug Queen's on it. It's a posse joint. This is like got a lot of people on it. You know, actually, outside of Off the Wall, they probably would have felt like Only the Strong Survive was their lead single off it. But having Layzie Bone and Thug Queen, I'm surprised like this song didn't get circulated more than it did. I only found that when I was doing research for like one of the Mo Thug videos I made a long time ago on the discography. And what's strange is by this part of the album, I started to grow accustomed to the female artist Chameleon, that when I heard Thug Queen, I was like, oh, Thug Queen. But then I realized, I was like, man, is Chameleon going to be on the same track with Thug Queen? Is the world big enough for two? She came in and she did her own thing at the end of the track. It felt like cheating. And I didn't know who I was cheating on. Was I cheating on Chameleon or was I cheating on Thug Queen? I like them both.
You might just be hating on me, just observe philosophy, and then maybe you might just see how I obtain what pleases me. I don't allow a speck of doubt, don't let the voice fool ya. I'm young, smart, and beautiful, don't let that offend ya. So go on, get up, move on, get about your business. You got something to say, don't say it cause you knick-knack. Only the strong survive, bitch, bring it. Control can get. I'm next, yeah, delirious. I'm serious, and if you're curious, well, it's obvious, my choice is various. Cause I'm relentless, I come across when I draw my flat out Nubian princess. Divine like fine wine, creeping through your mind. I'm not new, but I do shine, send the shivers down your spine. Unpredictable, cause I send you nothing but a sign devastation. I will apply if you're confused, just press rewind now.
Chameleon shuts it down. They don't even need an outro beat. Track 10, Take This. It's a real generic chorus. It's a generic song, generic beat. It's the worst song on the album so far.
Take this and take that straight to you haters. Don't hate on me because I'm making this paper. I got fine hoes that blows and curls toes for those who think they know the ones that don't. Now look out.
By far. And if you listen to this album, you might as well just skip track 10. Unless you like the most generic rap song. I don't even know why this made the album. It felt like filler. Track 11 is called Con Man.
I am a gun.
We coming across shaded, we driving them laws crazy. We got you coming up with new ways to try to stop us daily. We coming across shaded, we driving them laws crazy. We got you coming up with new ways to try to stop us daily. C to the O to the A to the R to the T to the I to the S to the T. We be Conrtist family. You can check the history. We coming across shaded, we driving them laws crazy. We got you coming up with new ways to try to stop us daily.
Activity, Conrtist is my specialty. Here's my special recipe. Study, listen, and learn from me now. Conrtist is an art of suitable fashion to make fast cash the easy way with con game and fraud play.
The chorus is a real attempt at like doing the Mo Thug style. The song subject matter sounds like it's about running a check cashing store or like a debt removal service. I really don't know, but at least it was a different topic than what you're used to.
Just give me all the info I need and then you're free. Don't worry about that chapter 13. Don't worry about that foreclosure. Send repo lien. Get a new house with a new call, a new look for a new broad, a new wave to a new star, a turnkey to a console. P.S. You can't out-con this con. You can't bullshit out. You can't out-hustle this hustle.
It sounds like they really did some of this stuff because they sound like they know, but the game is to be sold kind of thing. It's got a decent instrumental. Track 12, Before Sunrise.
Before sunrise, accounts are flush, clean with no signs. And every check you wrote is worthless, bounces high as the sky. Before sunrise, racketeering checks into cash. Makes profit equals wealth, power, sex, do the math. Before sunrise, is that your call, sitting outside? Just another victim sleep could be the beginning of the end. May you rest in peace.
They sounded like they really enjoyed themselves on this one. The chorus was cool, beat was decent. It's a good song. Track 13, Controversy.
Conniving the system, come get us. Conrtist family, constantly trying to connect us. I let them see how you converting these files so they fit us. It's a conspiracy, that's why we feel urges to exploit this controversy.
Cool chorus. It's got a progressing beat. And I say that only because track 11 was just so bad. But like by track 13, we're back on track. It stays on the concept of the album. They keep talking about converting these files.
Criminals, that's what you call it. Understand, that's how you know who to check it. You only know what they really want you to know. And what you think you know, you don't. And what you think you don't, you know it. What you want to see, you won't. And what you think it is, you won't. So we connive in the system to come get us. Now what we want to do that, and do that, and do that, and do that. Converting these files so they fit us. Now why you just don't see that, and see that.
So it sounds like they had experience in some kind of con artist financial scheme, and they wanted to make an album bragging about everything they did. And then track 14 is My Story.
This is my life, this is my story. These are the things I do for me to keep going. Music is the tool for me to keep on going. Mama prayed for me so I can keep on.
Hey, you recognize Mama Celestine there, right? Get Crow, get Crow. Yeah, she's on another hook, man. She's on another one.
Guaranteed warranty on this motherfucking life. And the wounds that's been inflicted, it fucking cuts like a knife. And in the inside you bleed, but to the world you smiling faking. When you're living, slowly leaking, soaking, and you slowly choking.
All right, going into this, I had no idea I'd make a 30-plus minute video on Conrtist Entrapment, the album. But overall, I'm pleased with it. There's really just one song that I don't like on the album. The rest of the album I like because I like their personalities. I just like the way they all kind of play off each other and the fun that they had on this album and how they didn't take it too serious and how it wasn't really like gangster rap. It was just party rap, chilling, having fun. It reminded me of the times before gangster rap, and I really enjoyed, positive stuff. Now, Conrtist and White Collar Crime that they're talking about on the album, that's probably not that positive, but compared to everything else that's out there, this was pretty cool. But the reason I made this again is because it's real obscure, hard to find. I bet you like 90% of you never even heard of this album. If you did, you probably only knew Only the Strong Survive. I didn't know anything about it. I had to get it. I wanted to hear this album in its entirety. Something spoke to me with it. It was like, Johnny, you got to check this album out. So I finally did. I heard it, got to hear Thug Queen, got to hear Layzie Bone. Somewhere Thin C was on the album. And I really started to like Chameleon by the end of the album. The other guys are all right, but Chameleon stood out. I enjoyed the mom lending the vocals, the dad doing the guitar, the sister doing the bass. I mean, the other way around. The dad did the bass, the girl did the lead guitar. I mean, I wished there was more of that on the album. I wished there was more Mama Celeste getting down. It's great. The music part was what made this, and it sounded professional. This thing sounded like a real deal pro album. It didn't sound like some of the stuff that gets thrown together, even like by some affiliates that do tracks with Bones. Most of the stuff we hear, it's like, oh man. But this album was pro level, real deal. It was real. This was a real album. It was a family affair, like I keep saying, and it shows throughout the album. They enjoyed the process. I bet you they're all making a killing, doing some kind of real life business now. They probably saw that this music game, there's not much money in it unless you got the machine. So props to them. I know they thought they had the best album in the world at the time and it just didn't pan out. But if one of them finds this video, I hope it made their day that somebody, what is it, like 18 years later, reviewed their album. I mean, what I played you, this album sounds pretty dope. This sounds like a real good Mo Thugs album. And like I said, it kind of ranks up there. I like 13 out of 14 tracks. Now, one's an intro, right? But I think it's a good album. It's generic, or they're not it's not like listening to the greatest rappers ever, but they're good enough. And I enjoyed it, bottom line. But let me qualify that. I enjoyed it because it was obscure from 2003. If this came out now, I wouldn't care, but this is a gem to discover from the past, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't painful listening to it. Hey, but let me add this too. if that book 2 or the Conrtist family CD exists, I will listen to. I would look forward to listening to book 2 or the Conrtist family album. And if Chameleon came out with a solo album, I'd get that too. I really dig her, man. So yeah. Anyway, my name is Jonathan Lippy. This is a album review for Beyond the Harmony. I hope at least you found something useful for your time. I thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.
Beyond the